Hello, 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 DeSoto, and to all of our neighboring communities. I'm your host, Nina Threech, chairman of the board for the DeSoto Chamber of Commerce, and you guys are on the plug, where your business is our business. And joining me today, I am so excited to announce we have Mr. Terrence Shine, who is the Vice President of Business Development with Wells Fargo's Business Banking Division. Good morning, Terrence.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
This is
yes,
exciting.
yes.
Yeah.
You liking the vibe?
Loving the vibe. Monumental moment right here.
Oh, really?
Yes, monumental. So thanks for, inviting me, spend some time with you this morning, being able to talk to the community. History in the making. So thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
this is good. Now, I said morning, so how was your morning commute? We can start off a little early with that.
Morning was good. I didn't get to run into any traffic, so that's always a good thing. I spend a lot of time in DeSoto. It's kind of like the home away from home for me.
Yes.
Here every weekend, go to the barbershop in DeSoto. So
Okay.
shout out to Solo Blaze.
Okay, Solo Blaze.
Yeah.
Hey, now we need
Yes,
to make
yes.
sure we make a trip over there.
We yes, and he's good guy, great community guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's jump into it. So today I felt like, obviously a conversations we were having before, I think this was a warranted conversation to have because when we think about our small businesses, especially in the pandemic that we've just had, and we're still kind of in it. So I always say kind of the emerging pandemic stage. But I think what we want to talk about today is just kind of some of the most common culprits of small business owners today, and I think it's a very warranted conversation. And you are an integral piece of just being able to shine and add light to that. And I think it was just a conversation that you and I need to have. And so
All right.
I was so happy to have you just to say yes and talk about some of the things that you see every day with small businesses.
And I wasn't dodging you, I promise. Oh no, I'm glad we was able to get our schedules coordinated together. This is a great topic. Perfect time to have this type of conversation to be really impactful to the business owners, business community,
Right.
especially what's going on, in our environment, our economy, you name it. I mean, we went through a pandemic, still kind of
Right.
going through a pandemic, and our
Exactly.
small business owners really felt the brunt of that.
Absolutely.
So being able to help them navigate to have success in their business endeavors is
Right.
important.
It's
So,
absolutely
great
important.
topic. I'm glad we're spending some time.
Yeah,
So, thank you.
absolutely. And I think too, just to your point, we definitely saw a lot of businesses that did, definitely have to close their doors. But I'm an eternal optimist. I always think of like the small businesses that did emerge
Right.
from the pandemic, and
Right.
more than 80% of the businesses that opened up during the pandemic were small business.
Right.
Most of them were women. Whoop whoop. So
Shout
sorry
out to the
about
ladies.
that.
Shout out to the ladies.
No offense,
Yes.
no offense. But I think, when it comes to, yes, we can open up the doors, but there are some common, culprits. There are some common problems that I think small businesses, really kind of any profile of a business owner, still suffers. And I think there are three major ones that we're going to talk about today. And
All right.
the very first one is lack of capital and cash flow. Now, I think a lot of business owners might think that that's the main one, right? But according to the 2022 Small Business Trends, that accounted for more than 31%
Mhm. Yeah.
for lack of capital and cash flow that small business owners face.
Yeah, and that's a challenge when you're starting up a small business, right? How do you have the capital and injection to help your business grow or to start it and to keep it running? And what we see in the industry right now, Nina, is just really comes down to, are we prepared with our business plan?
Yeah.
Are we able to see that business plan to come to fruition?
Hmm.
And are we really focusing on some of those key services that a lot of institutions, especially ours, that will help that business grow, whether they're expanding, kicking off, or doing some type of acquisition.
Right.
So lack of cash flow is a pain point for a lot of industries, a lot
Yeah.
of business owners. And we have to start by looking at, okay, is this the right industry that you need to be in?
Hmm.
Is this the right industry that's going to help you be sustainable? One of the things we don't want to do is lend to a situation where it's only going to hurt you down the line.
Right.
So being prepared, I think it starts with that business plan
Hmm.
and really funneling through that and then also looking at the opportunities on how much capital injection that you're going to need to get
Right.
the business kicked off and going.
Yeah, now reflecting on that along with kind of the background of Wells Fargo and the
Okay.
knowledge that you have
Yeah.
and your counterparts, talk a little bit about just kind of what your role is and how Wells Fargo works with small business owners because I think that's also important for just kind of context around some of the answers that
Right.
you would definitely have today.
Well, our mantra, especially in the role, being one of the vice presidents for business development in the Wells Fargo business division. So we specialize in bringing the bank to the community
Yeah.
and bringing the business services to the community. We work with a lot of minority business owners
Mhm.
to help them grow, whether because we see the opportunity in that space, but not just with minority businesses, but all businesses.
Yeah.
We have products and services that are geared towards, we are preferred lending when it
Mhm.
comes to SBA lending.
Yes.
And a lot of organizations um, don't have a lot of the resources that we can provide. One of the great things about us is you won't outgrow Wells Fargo,
Mm.
right? So as your business is growing, as
Mhm.
you're doing well, and we want to see you succeed, there's never going to be a point in time where we don't have a service that can fit that need. So that's one of the key points. I love the SBA part
Mhm.
of that. We work directly with our SBA partners and SBA underwriters to get an understanding of what they're seeing in the industry so that way we can go back to that business owner and help them prepare the best package to get them that lending and funding that they need.
And I love that. So you'll never outgrow Wells Fargo. It's
No,
not cocky
no,
at all, but it's definitely supportive, meaning that we're gonna always be behind you. We're
absolutely.
gonna always be the pillars that you stand on,
Yes.
so that you can continue to grow and thrive and be successful. I love that.
You're welcome. I like that too.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Too funny. Now, when you say definitely expounding on that, so is there like what do lenders look for in terms of credit score or what kind of profile do
I
you
get that.
guys?
I get
Yeah.
that question a lot. Going to networking events or meeting with business owners. I get that. What credit score do I need, or do I need this, or so forth?
Mm-hmm.
Credit is not the only thing that banking industries look at.
Yes.
It's
Mm-hmm.
an important component. Don't get me wrong. You want to have a strong credit background, credit history, because one, if you're a startup, we don't have a history on you, so we're going to need to look at your personal history, right?
Right.
Encompass that together. But that's just one pillar of the total package to get you lending and funding that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the better the credit score, I don't want to say a number out there,
Right.
but the better the credit score, the more, opportune it is. Now, I'm not going to say that you have to have perfect credit.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's been through challenges in life. We recognize that as an industry,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the pandemic a few years ago and ongoing. So people have had challenges, and we're not going to not want to lend to you because there was a bump in the road, right? We
Mm-hmm.
understand that, we recognize that, but the key is, what does your whole total picture
Right.
look like?
Mm-hmm.
What does your financials look like? What does your statements look like, your bank statements? What type of balances are you keeping on a regular basis? All those things are encompassed together along with the credit score
Mm-hmm.
and the business plan, and also your background in that space that you're trying to operate in.
Right.
All that comes together to make you that much stronger of a candidate towards lending.
So I think even just to your point, so not even just the application, a lot of times you'll ask for even maybe the resume of
Absolutely.
that particular
Absolutely.
business owner.
And a lot of individuals are surprised with that.
Mm.
But we want, especially and sometimes that steers because of the SBA. SBA is a government-funded program,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a great program for brand new small businesses or existing businesses. But you got to put the package together,
Right.
right? The government is once you're gonna dot every I, cross every T. So that's where we specialize to help those clients put the best package together to present to the SBA.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So they definitely just make sure that they have a very strong business plan,
Yes.
making sure if they even
The
having that
resume
resume has to be.
is very important because we want to see that you have some type of background
Mm-hmm.
in that industry,
Yeah.
and have some experience in that industry. Doesn't have to be the strongest experience. A
Mhm.
couple of years is always pretty suffice, but we just want to see the individual, those 5 C's of credit, right?
Right.
Character is one of them.
Right.
Character is one of them. So
Right.
we want to just make sure we're comfortable, and we want to also make sure that we're not putting you in a situation where you're going to be in a disadvantage years down the line.
Mhm.
We don't want to put anybody in debt. We don't want to lend you money to give you hardship 2, 3 years down the line.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I think that's an interesting point that you mentioned that because sometimes, I think a business owner, we're focused on, well, I just need the money. I need this to do what I need to do, and why not give me this? But
Right.
you also definitely, there's a risk management side. There's a risk analysis side to, hey, there's a reason why
Yes.
that maybe this is not the amount. Okay, maybe we need to go down, and maybe
Yes.
you need to work on that a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Because we want to make sure that you're
and
set up for
and
success
that
from
and
the
that
beginning.
happens. I tell owners all the time that we have to put you in a space to be able to have success, not just for today, but
Right.
years down the line. So that's critical. Great point.
Right.
And we have to be able to attack that from all sides.
Okay, now I'm gonna pivot a little bit because I think the second most common culprit that plagues our small business owners is administrative services, and I think that includes like payroll or bookkeeping services. And I think to your point, even when they apply for that lending, sometimes it is favorable too for that candidate to may have some merchant services already for you to
Yes.
see.
Yes.
But talk a little bit about just kind of that common culprit
I
you've
think that's
seen.
very critical for a brand new business or existing business.
Mm-hmm.
You're spending so much time managing the success of seeing that business grow.
Right.
If you can have and utilize some of the resources that these industries, Wells Fargo in particular, that we have to offer to help you manage those things, you set yourself up for success.
Right.
One of those is something as small as ADP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We partner with ADP quite often,
Mm-hmm.
and they handle payroll services
Right.
for a lot of our small business clients, and that frees up time.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, you have it's a cost,
Mhm.
absolutely, but it's a cost of doing business, right?
Right.
So free up your time, utilize that service, and plus, when it comes to tax reporting,
Mhm.
there's things that utilizing those services will save you a lot of time when it comes to possible audits or time, end of the year, working with your CPA. You have all the documentation that you need
Right.
to make it a smoother transition. So ADP is one resource that I think sometimes is underutilized.
Yeah.
And then also, you mentioned merchant services. Critical,
Mhm.
critical. And it's a small, and what I mean by critical is if I'm a brand new business owner, in today's environment, we all accept card payments, right?
Right.
Whether it's through the computer, you go to the
Right.
walk-up terminal or so forth, put your card in, or now you can just ping
Right.
it,
Yeah.
just ping it and it's ready to go. Well, that's a critical service because one, we have those statements.
Right.
We see the transactions that are flowing in and out of that account. That tells a picture to an underwriter.
And it makes life so much easier.
So much easier because you're already utilizing a service that institution is providing, right?
Say that again. Y'all need to hear that. You already
You're
utilize.
already utilizing the service that the institution is providing. So it makes you a stronger candidate when you're ready to go lend.
Yes.
Because I see now that you have a history
Yes.
of running your transactions through merchant services. And then the last one I like to touch on, and it's a big word,
Mhm.
and I think sometimes we get caught up in the flair of the word, and,
Uh-huh.
and Nina, you being in the industry, you've heard this, I'm sure, many times. Treasury management, right?
Oh my goodness.
What is
yes.
what is treasury management? I get that a lot. What is treasury management? Just understand it's a slew of services, products that is designed to help you manage the cash of your business.
Right.
Period. Point blank.
So give us an
I'll
example.
give you an example.
Just so you
of
can paint a picture for everybody.
wires.
Yes.
You have business owners that transact all over the world,
Yes.
all over the nation, right? So wire transactions, some owners will do 5, 15, 20 a month sometimes,
Mhm.
right? Well, Treasury Services will help you manage that.
Right.
We have a service for that. We'll send those wires for you out or process them for you a lot faster. Along with Treasury Services, you have ACH transactions,
Mhm.
right? Automatic clearinghouse transactions happening all the time. Well, Treasury Services will help you manage that.
Mhm.
You're in your office every day. You can't go make those deposits.
Right.
You can't get to the bank, right?
Yes.
Or we're rushing to the bank to get to the bank
Right.
at a certain time before it closes to make those deposits. Well, we have remote capture.
Right.
You can make those deposits at your home office. Treasury Services is part of that. So in Treasury Services, you have wires, you have ACH, you have all those slew of products that will help you manage the cash flow of your business. So utilize it.
And
Utilize it.
I
And
think
it's a small fee
yeah.
to help you manage your business.
But I think it's so critical because even
Absolutely.
something like that, with Wells Fargo, like if you just take a picture of your check, the front and back, you sign it, it's just so much.
It's done.
It just makes life easy. You don't even
Yeah.
have to drive through and, to like get that done for you or walk in or,
Yes.
sometimes you'll see some employers, maybe someone that's charged with that responsibility of
Yes.
coming in with that package and they may have a lot of money or they may have a
Right.
lot of checks to deposit. They got to wait in line.
Yep.
Of course, we definitely saw a lot of, kind of a lot of upset during the pandemic because of shortage of staffs and things.
A
And
lot of
so,
branches were closing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you just think about the flow of
Yes.
all that,
Saving you
you
time.
just save yourself so much more time.
And as your
So,
business grows, you want to have a product like that.
right.
So don't get caught up in the word.
Yes.
Because I tell that every time. What is treasury management? It sounds
What's-
so cumbersome or so dynamic. Well, it is a dynamic product, but it's a cool product.
Right.
And just understand it will help you manage the daily cash flow of your business if your volume warrants it, right?
Right.
Because you do have to qualify for it. You have to have a certain volume
Mhm.
limit, certain volume amount, I should say,
Yeah.
to be able to get that. But it's a great product. It's
Right.
a great product.
And I think just, continuing into maybe the third culprit, we're talking about the pandemic. We're talking
Yes.
about how, banks and some of the branches were closed and just kind of being dynamic. One of the other common culprits that we see is when it comes to changes in operations, when there needs to be a response to market conditions. Small business owners or even big profiles, when they have to adapt and respond to changes in the economy, changes
Yeah.
in, when a competitor now enters into a space, or
Right.
Maybe there is another pandemic that shuts down and they have to
I
figure out how
hope
to.
not.
Right,
We don't want
hope
one,
not.
right? But you never know.
But in your experience, do you think that newer tenured business owners tend to respond quicker to market conditions, or do you think and maybe the bigger ones are a little bit more slower to follow, but they're bigger so they're able to sustain the bigger swings? Like, what do you think?
Ah, that's a great question. Um, honestly, I lean on both sides
Mm-hmm.
on that because I've come across brand new business owners that were very business savvy,
Mm-hmm.
that had a strong business plan, and was able to hit the ground running and be successful, and
Mhm.
being able to adapt
Mhm.
to innovation,
Right.
technology, and then you have experienced, mature business owners that can do the same thing. Maybe you have to, based on the stage of where their business is, right?
Mhm.
But they're able to adapt as well. I think the pandemic really was eye-opening for a lot of business owners
Absolutely.
to be able to just refocus, relook at their plan to make sure that they're still able to have sustainable success. I can tell you in one of the spaces where our industry, my organization, where we took a reanalyzed
Mhm.
was the restaurant industry,
Mhm.
right? Restaurants were hit very hard during the pandemic,
Right.
right? And a lot of lenders stayed away from lending to restaurants.
Yeah.
We didn't. We actually are in that space. Wells Fargo Business Banking is actually lending to restaurants because when we analyzed it, we realized that they weren't doing as bad or weren't as in trouble as we initially thought,
Mm.
right? So there's opportunities there. It's a great service. Restaurants provide a lot of community, a lot of jobs, and so forth. So we want to be able to support that.
Right.
But that's just one industry that I was happily pleased that we got into that space or
Yeah.
got back in that space.
I like that because Wells Fargo is the way that I know it. You guys have an appetite for more of the healthcare sector, kind of with
Yes,
the
yes.
almost maybe recession proof in a sense, as
It
you
is.
say. But it was great to see you guys kind of adapt and respond to be a little bit more innovative.
Absolutely, yeah. And we just started that big push this year.
Mhm.
The healthcare industry is a great industry all the way around. We support those medical practices, and so we have a product right now that's geared towards those industries. So
Mhm.
whether you're a optometrist, MD,
Mhm.
veterinarian, dental.
Mm-hmm.
We have tailored products just for those four industries
Mm-hmm.
to help get them lending, right? We need our medical professionals
Right.
doing well because they take care of us. You know, we go to them
Mm-hmm.
many, many times, right? So we need them to be able to be sustainable, and we have those resources available to them where, you know, they can get approved and lending in 3 to 5 days if everything aligns correctly.
Right. I love that because
Yeah.
we definitely, when I think about, the members that we
I
have
told
here
my
in our
dentist that
chamber.
the other day. I
That's
promise you.
good.
I was at the dentist. I said,
Uh-huh.
we need to talk.
Yeah, we need to talk. But,
Yeah,
we
we need to
definitely
talk.
have some members, some
Yeah.
unique businesses that have come on to our Chamber of Commerce
Right.
that provide some really innovative paramedical services that are here, that, obviously service our community here. And so I
Yeah.
think it's great to hear that you guys are very pivotal, whether it's just the healthcare sector, but also being dynamic in the
Yes.
restaurateur sector,
Restaurant and then
food and industry,
commercial real estate
and
is huge
commercial.
for us. Well,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are always trying to help a business get to that next step.
Yeah.
So being able to help you acquire property.
Yeah.
If you're leasing
Mm-hmm.
for so long, there's a couple clients right now that I'm working with that have been being very successful.
Right.
But they're still leasing that building. Well, you know what? Let's help you grow. Let's
Yeah.
go look for you a building. Let's
Right.
do it together. And so that way you'll be able to not only own your own piece of land, your own property, but there's value in that, right?
Right.
There's equity in that, and there's business growth in that. So we
Right.
specialize just not in, SBA lending, but
Mhm.
also commercial real estate
Commercial
as
real
well
estate.
to be able to get you to what you need.
I love that. So I love the innovation. I love the adaptability of Wells Fargo. And I think the overall message that I'm hearing too when it comes to even the common culprits that we've talked about is making sure that you have a strong business plan for sure
Absolutely.
to sustain to any market condition, making sure that your profile is strong. Utilize
Yes.
the small services, I
Absolutely.
think, because it does help you in the long run.
And for our listeners, who are listening or business owners, because I get asked this question, well, how much do I need
Yeah.
to start, right?
Mm.
What are you guys looking for? How much? Because you're going to need capital injection. So, I mean, a good rule of thumb, anywhere 20, 25%, give
Mhm.
or take, based on the amount that you're going to borrow or want to borrow,
Mhm.
put us in a more advantageous situation.
Right.
So
Right.
just be mindful of that.
I love that. And so then, Terrence, since you just said that and you calling out our listeners now, which is good because that means I got to perk up now.
Yes.
What-
Perk up.
Perk up.
Perk up.
What would you want the community to know about Wells Fargo or about just how you guys are a resource to our small
Put me on the
businesses?
spot, right? Gosh, what do we want to? We really specialize, and I think I said this earlier. We specialize in bringing the bank to the community.
Mm.
I've been in banking 22 plus years, and this role in business development really does that.
Yeah.
Because we don't, a lot of our business owners, they don't have time to go into the financial centers. They're running their business, right?
Right.
Or they may not know who to go to,
Right.
right? When you get into the financial center. Well, our job is to be, using my old military, used to be, in the Air Force many years ago, but using my old military analogy, we're going to be the foot soldiers on the
Yeah,
ground, right? We're going to
right.
be on the ground. We're going to be in the communities, building these relationships that
Right.
you and I are doing here today. That's what it's all about, is
Right.
putting the message out there to our business owners, our business community, our minority business owners, our women business owners,
Mhm.
that they have a resource. And nobody's perfect,
Mhm.
right? We're in the news, right? I go to mixers and conferences and like, Terrence, I heard about Wells Fargo. What are you guys in the news? And I understand that. And I understand that question because I've probably been asked it so many times. So I think I've gotten pretty good at answering it so many different dynamic ways. But I would tell you this, I've worked for a few institutions in my life. Every one of them have had their time in the spotlight,
Mhm.
and every one of them have had their bad media press or whatever you want to call it, right? So for us, for Wells Fargo Business Banking, or just the organization, we recognize there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
And we recognize there's an opportunity to get better. And that's why people like myself
Mhm.
are put in place to be able to make those changes, to be able to get into the community and work with the business owners, to be able to help them be sustainable, help them grow,
Mhm.
build generational wealth, right? That word's
Yes.
thrown out. It's a popular word right now, right?
Yes.
Might be 2022 new
I
word,
was that's
2022 word of the phrase of the year, right?
right.
But it's so critical because business owners, that's part of generational wealth. Being able to pass that business on to your
Mhm.
family members. My background in this industry, there's two roles that have always been pivotal, and that's business banking, being able to help that owner grow, and then home lending. And
Mm.
for the first few years of my banking career, I spent some time in home lending.
Mhm.
There's no greater satisfaction than helping someone buy that first
Yes,
house or
absolutely.
open up that business endeavor that they've been saying that they're going to do. There's
Right.
no other greater satisfaction. So that's what we do. We bring the business resources to the community.
To the community.
Iron sharpens iron. That's
Yes.
that's kind of our small business slogan on
Mhm.
the team that I use. So I can't take credit for that. Shout out to my manager Dan Adams. He's probably somewhere said he was going to listen in, but great guy, very supportive
Mhm.
on what we're doing in the communities
Yeah.
and really supporting business owners.
So, Terrence, if I were a business owner, like, or just even to the business owners listening today,
Right.
and they wanted to pick your brain or have a cup of coffee or,
Give me a call.
assess, where can
Call
they
me. Give
find
me a
you?
call. Yes, give me a call. Well, they can probably find me every Saturday. Shout out to my man again, Solo Blaze, at Blaze Barbershop.
We got to go see him.
Go see. Also plug in my other good friend, Blue. He has his restaurant, Shells and Tails, right there
Oh,
in the
yes.
Yes.
He's a member.
Yes,
So,
yes,
yes,
yes.
some great, unique
Great,
businesses
great
here.
seafood. Matter of fact, I was there Saturday. Seafood nachos is on point. Got to plug him in too. But they can find me Wells Fargo.
Mhm.
My email address is Terrence Terrenc. Yes, my mom,
ENC.
rest in peace. But
E.
she'd be upset if people were messing up putting the A.
Yeah.
She was adamant that it's a E,
It's
not
a
an A.
E, yeah.
But Terrence dot shine at wellsfargo.com.
wellsfargo.com.
Yeah. And then my business cell phone is 832. Why they gave me a Houston area code.
Hey, don't talk. Wait a minute
I,
now.
I
I
love
was born and
Houston.
raised in
I
Houston.
love
now.
Houston. My older brothers lived in
Okay.
Houston
Well, I
for
was about
20
to
plus
raise
years.
up saying now.
No, I like H-Town. I
Okay.
love H-Town. I'm originally from San Antonio. So
Oh, okay.
shout out to San Antonio 210. But I've been in Dallas for about 12 years, so this is my home now.
Okay.
Love the city. But yeah, phone number 832-374-0080.
Wonderful. Thank you so much,
Thank you for
Terrence.
having me.
I
This was
think this was,
monumental.
yes, I love
Yeah.
this. I think this conversation was necessary for sure.
Absolutely.
Listeners, if you have other questions or other, just things that or challenges that you're facing, definitely respond. Comment on our YouTube channel. We definitely have the comments open. Please like, share, and respond to the podcast. But we might need to have you on for a part 2, Terrence, because we also know that our business owners, these are just maybe the top 3,
There's
but
a
we
lot
know
we can
there's
talk about.
other challenges, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of other things that we can talk about, even for our newer tenured business owners, but also those that have been in business for at least 5 to 10 years, because they,
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
always a challenge, it's always a cycle, and so I think we can dive into a number of discussions around things that plague our business owners. So
I would welcome that.
yes,
Absolutely.
okay.
Anytime. You call me,
Yes.
I'll put it on the calendar. Do my best to get her for you, Nina.
Thank
I got
you. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for
for,
having
of
me.
course, bringing your services and your expertise here to not only our community, but right here to our DeSoto Chamber of Commerce.
It's been a great partnership. We'll just continue to build on it. So,
Absolutely,
thank you. This is
absolutely.
great.
Yes, yes. And guys, just to let you guys know, we do have some upcoming events, which I'm hoping you will come to. So, which is Tuesday, July 19th, Food Save Me. It's going to be here at the Chamber starting at 5 p.m. We have Terry Bell, and so she's going to talk a little bit about food and how addictions that we have. Like if you like chocolate, do you like chocolate? I love.
I like chocolate. I'm an M&M's guy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Peanut. Got to be the yellow bag.
Oh my see,
Gotta be the yellow bag.
so there's, she'll definitely cover why we have certain addictions, and so of course she's gonna cook for sure. So I'm like three
Awesome.
people on the inside, so I'll be
Awesome.
there front and center. We also have our Power Her networking event that's gonna take place. It's usually the 4th Tuesday of each month, but this month is gonna be this Thursday with Miss Akila by Ink. It's called Ink by Malaya, which is
Awesome.
Akila. She's also a registered nurse, and
Oh wow.
she
Okay.
does paramedical cosmetic services to breast cancer survivors and things. So she has a great medical practice
That's
here, and
awesome.
so
That's
I'd love
awesome.
to make that connection with you guys. Shout out to you, Akila. But if anything else, thank you all so much for tuning in to the plug. Well, your business is our business. Terrence, thank you so much again for coming on to give your
Thanks for having me.
expertise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And
This was fun.
yes, and look forward to having you
I'll be back.
guys.
You have me. Give me a call.
Bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.